Hey guys, how's it going? With the Delirium leak starting around 2 weeks ago, in addition to the cancellation of my Europe trip over my March break vacation, I realized that I had a lot of time to play Path of Exile. I've been playing quite a bit by my own standards over the last couple weeks, and I've been streaming it on and off through Twitch. If you're ever interested in checking it out, do feel free to drop by twitch.tv/EmnixPlays. I will probably be streaming a bit more steadily over the next couple weeks, so I'll try to post a schedule for it on both YouTube, Twitch, and Discord. If you wanted to stop by but you didn't get a chance, I have been uploading all the streams onto YouTube, so you will be able to watch it there as well. Over the last 2 weeks, I have been playing a Kinetic Bolt Berserker, and although it hasn't been a smooth league start, I am having a great time. I love my character, I even gave it a name, the BabyRage Berserker. I was asked a few days ago to provide a quick summary of what my build was, and figured I might as well put it all in a video. I'm only farming yellow tiered maps, but the backbone is there. At this point, I'm just focusing on getting better stats on my gear, which by the way, is really expensive. Just as a disclaimer by the way, this isn't really a guide to follow if you want to destroy the game. If you have been watching my video and have seen my struggles, you would understand. It's not terrible, but probably sits somewhere in the middle of the pack in terms of build viability. I have broken down the video into separate sections with time markers listed in the description of the video. Feel free to click through them if you need to skip any of the sections. So without further ado, here we go. Here's my BabyRage Berserker. This character is a physical berserker wander, which also features war cries and rage, thus aptly named BabyRage. It uses Kinetic Bolt as the AoE clear skill and uses Power Siphon as the single target. It's also further augmented by war cries, using Enduring Cry and Rallying Cry depending on my needs, and it generates rage through attacking based on the Berserker Ascendancy. At optimum strength, this build can maintain 4 power charges, 5 endurance charges, and at times 3 frenzy charges as well. There's also a little bit of crit in this build, but I wouldn't say enough to call it a crit build. There's somewhere close to 30 to 40% crit with around 250% multiplier. So yeah, that's pretty much the build summary. This build uses a wand and a shield, and as such only has one 6th link available to use. That 6th link is used on Kinetic Bolt, our clearing skill. The support gems are, in no particular order, Maim, Greater Volley, Vicious Projectiles, Energy Leech, and Impale. You can switch out Greater Volley for greater multiple projectiles for better spread, but I actually thought Greater Volley looked cooler. Our single target skill, Power Siphon, is running on a pseudo 5 link. I am using a Thunder Fist in the glove slot, which provides socketed gems with a level 18 added lightning support. We then support the skill with Barrage, Impale, and Energy Leech. Our war cries are Enduring Cry, Rallying Cry, supported by Second Wind. We use Herald of Ash, Herald of Purity, Precision, and Dread Banner as our 4 auras. Once I have enough accuracy, I'm probably planning on dropping Herald of Ash and Precision and replacing it with something like Pride. And finally, for defense, I'm using Cast When Damage Taken and Immortal Call for one of my 2 links, and then Shield Charge and Fortify for my other 2 link. I'm using Self-Cast Assassin's Mark as one of my curses, and Blood Rage for Frenzy Charge generation. So here's the current gear that I'm using for my character. For the weapon, you probably want a high physical damage wand. If the wand has a spell damage implicit, that's a bonus as well, as Kinetic Bolt gets 150% of the spell damage applied to attack damage. For my chest, I'm just using any regular old 6th link. I haven't really thought about what I want to use. Late game, you're probably going to be using something like Pharaoh's Fur. Belly of the Beast is good as well, and you can also consider Lore Weave. Currently, my shield is Brynnerot's Flag. I really like it because every time you war cry, you gain 2 power charges. In the future, I'm probably gonna grab the unique shield that gives me Onslaught when I war cry, since Pharaoh's Fur will give you power charges and frenzy charges instead. As I've mentioned already in this video, I'm using Thunder Fist as my gloves. I like it right now since I'm getting a pseudo 5 link, but really you can get any gloves in here. Preferably, I think I'm going to go for something that gives me Rampage. For the rings, I just got it to fill out my life, my resistances, and a little bit of damage, and the same can be said for my amulet. I actually feel quite slow with the boots despite the fact that it's 30% move speed and 5% increased movement speed if you haven't been hit recently. I think that for this character, you probably want the boots that gives you movement speed as well as Tailwind. And yeah, that's pretty much my gear. I blasted through it because there's nothing really special that I have right now. I don't even have any decent enchantments on my, or I don't have an enchantment at all on my helmet. But basically I just went for life and resistances everywhere else. Really the only 3 important pieces I have, or I guess you could say 4, is a high physical damage wand, a shield that generates power charges for me, Thunder's Fist for my pseudo 5-link, and a 6-link chest that has decent life and resistance. On our passive tree, we've been mostly picking up life and accuracy. There were also some nodes that I used to get Warcries. So there's Battle Cry, which makes Warcries instants and gives us extra Warcry effects. And the other Warcry notable, which is Words of Glory, which makes Warcry not cost mana and gives us 10% increased attack, cast, and movement speed if we've Warcry recently. That's equivalent to half of an Onslaught. I currently pick up 1 power charge. I used to path over here to get the extra power charge, but I have refunded those points at this point. And I've also picked up 2 extra endurance charges with plans to pick up a 3rd. Jewel wise, I only have 1 cluster jewel, and I'm currently using a medium cluster jewel, which gives us Cry Wolf and Haunting Shout. Cry Wolf makes it so that Warcries count as having 10 additional nearby enemies. That means even when enemies are not around, Enduring Cry will still give us 4 endurance charges. Similarly, Rallying Cry will also give us 18% increased damage in addition to the 17% increased damage that Rallying Cry already gives, so this Warcry is giving us 35% increased damage. This jewel also gives us Haunting Shout, and Haunting Shout makes enemies taunted by our Warcries intimidated and unnerved, where intimidated makes enemies take 10% increased attack damage and unnerved makes enemies take 10% increased spell damage. I'm actually not sure if unnerved matters in terms of kinetic bolt, but definitely intimidated enemies are taking 10% more attack damage. With the remaining points that I have, as I'm currently level 88, I'm probably planning on picking up the endurance charges, picking up a couple jewel slots so that I can pick up a Watcher's Eye, and then possibly getting another cluster jewel in here for additional damage. Looking at our ascendancies, I've picked up Flawless Savagery, Warbringer, Rite of Ruin, and Crave the Slaughter. In terms of future considerations that I have for this character, I probably need to upgrade this chest into something better. Like I said earlier in the video, I'm probably upgrading to a Pharaoh's Fur for the chest. As always, the wand needs constant upgrades in order to maintain damage. Physical wands can get very high, but very expensive as well. Additionally, I probably need a kinetic bolt enchant on my helmet just for extra damage. Depending on where I'm at, if I'm missing single target, it's possible that I need a Power Siphon enchant instead. Currently on my amulet, I do not have any anointments. If I were to pick an anointment, I would probably pick up Disintegration for more critical chance as well as critical strike multiplier. There are other possibilities as well, but I haven't really thought it through. On my tree, I haven't picked up damage. Damage, and I've been relying mostly on cluster jewels as well as my ascendancy. So yeah, that's pretty much my BabyRage Berserker, my Wander that I've been playing for the last 2 weeks or so. I've been struggling a lot. If you've been watching recently, you would know that I've been going through a lot of pain with this character. It hasn't been an easy journey, but it's been a very enjoyable one for me. Compared to even a few days ago, this character has improved leaps and bounds over what it was like before. And there's enough room for this character to grow that I think I'll be playing this guy for a while. So thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. If you ever have any questions, feel free to leave a comment on this video. Otherwise, keep in touch. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.